Loudermilk is a comedy drama TV series that is currently available for streaming on Netflix. It was created by Peter Farrelly and Bobby Mort. Peter Farrelly of movies such as Dumb and Dumber, There's Something About Mary, Green Book, and the comedy level of this series is definitely up to par with those classics. Here is the official synopsis. Sam Loudermilk is a recovering alcoholic and substance abuse counselor with a bad attitude. Although he has his drinking under control, Loudermilk discovers that when your life is a mess, getting clean is the easy part. And as we like to do here on the Spun Today Podcast, let's shout out the writers that put this series together. Starting with Peter Farrelly, Bobby Mort, Dave Connaughton, I'm pretty sure I butchered that. Apologies, Dave. John Ricky Blitt, Danny Smith, Dave Sheridan, Jimmy Dunn, Jackie Flynn, Kate Shriver, Laura Stryker, Shira Hoffman, James Lee Freeman, Brian Jarvis, John Elliott Jordan, Thomas Jordan, and Yasir Lester. Shout out to each and every one of the writers that put this hilarious series together. Now, this series has actually been around for a while. It debuted in 2017 and has several seasons, 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, through 2020. I'm assuming it stopped or was canceled around COVID. Maybe it will be coming back, I'm not sure. But this was one of those fortunate finds that wifey actually found. Stumbled upon it on Netflix, just press play, and from the first episode, she started watching it, I started listening in. It was funny as hell. She liked it. I got into it as well, and we wound up binge watching all 3 or 4 seasons, whatever it is. And it stars Ron Livingston, who plays Sam Loudermilk, and I know him from the Office Space movie. He was like one of the main characters there. And the show itself, it's very reminiscent to me of Curb Your Enthusiasm, because Loudermilk speaks his mind with no filter, very similar to how Larry David does in Curb. So it definitely has that type of vibe with the top-notch comedic writing of a Peter Farrelly and just amazing acting by hilarious comedic actors and actual comics like Will Sasso, who plays a big role. He plays Ben Burns, which is Loudermilk's roommate. Brian Regan is in this. He plays Muggsy Bennigan. And there's so many of the secondary characters, and quote-unquote secondary because they're in every single episode, at least most of them are, that are fucking hilarious because it's a group of Loudermilk runs this AA meeting counseling group, and you just see all these degenerate gamblers or alcoholics and drug addicts, sharing stories and talking, and we get glimpses into each of their lives, and they create such laugh out loud moments, like literal laugh out loud moments, that totally makes the show worthwhile. And in a weird way, it also kind of humanized that. I don't know much about that AA culture, but watching this reminded me of the Netflix series Mo with Mo Amir, which I did a deep dive about after series 1. I'm still waiting for fucking series 2, which I know got greenlit, but then COVID happened, so I guess everything is just delayed, but I'm really looking forward to that coming back on. But similar to what I said with watching that series of how I knew little about Muslim or folks, about them culturally, and a show like Mo helped me see and realize, like, oh shit, they just go to a different church, have a couple different customs, but the immigrant experience is the immigrant experience for a Palestinian, a Dominican, a Colombian, an Asian, which I know is a much wider umbrella. But similar to that, I had that type of feel with this AA group, where naively, I just kind of thought of it as, yeah, I know some people, struggle with, addictions. It's a disease for them, but didn't really, that's a very surface level type of deconstructing of what those folks go through. And seeing this in a much more intimate, more detailed setting, albeit a comedy / drama, but just gave me additional insights and made me think and consider different aspects of their lives that I would have never considered otherwise. They're people too, all right? They're fucking people too. Let me stop. And aside from the writing being very poignant and funny itself, I actually pulled some writing advice from it in Sam Loudermilk, which he was a writer. He was a music writer, the Rolling Stone and a bunch of different magazines and stuff like that back in the day. I believe he was giving someone writing advice for a song or writing music or something in general, and said this line that definitely resonated, which was, just get it out of your head and quit being so precious about it. I definitely took that out as a takeaway for myself, to give myself a little kick in the ass for working on Fractal too. But I digress. But yeah, man, definitely a worthwhile show. It's one of those, after you watch it and you enjoy it, you could rewatch episodes, any episode, randomly if you want. Put it on in the background, like a Seinfeld, like a Friends. To me, it has that type of vibe, but definitely more R-rated, funnier. R-rated, X-rated, I don't know what the actual designation would be, but definitely more adult humor. And that is my little recap and review of the show Loudermilk, available now on Netflix.